today. Our campus is the main campus in Irvine, California. It's a beautiful city, about 15 minutes from the ocean, and 40 minutes, 45 from downtown Los Angeles. So we also have a Santa Monica campus that offers the MBA program. And we do have Miami, Florida, and now we have just opened up an Orlando, Florida campus, offering MBA and DBA professional format programs. So we are regionally and globally accredited. We're a nice area of the world. I can't guarantee it's always 23 degrees Celsius anymore. This year has been quite cold, but students do get that nice sunny SoCal weather. We've enrolled over 5,000 students for 2024, and we have students from over 100 different nationalities, including many from East Asia. We also have a 10-to-1 student faculty ratio, and that means you'll be not just a number, you'll be given the support and attention in each of your classes. We have a 92% graduation rate, 94% student satisfaction rate, and 85% job placement after graduation. And I will talk about the opportunities you have during your study and after for work. Looking at our master and doctorate programs, we have in the College of Business, we have the College of Technology Engineering and the College of Education offering the MBA program with many, and these degrees are going to be in yellow. You have the degree names here. We have MBA, MSIT, MS Computer Science, MS Engineering Management. We have the Master of Arts in TESOL under the College of Education. And again, I see some chats and questions. That's great. We're going to get to those at the end. Be happy to answer. And looking at those in white, those are the concentrations or the different majors you can select from. The ones with the S in green are at the end of the name. Those are STEM eligible programs. So students who are MBA, they can also have a concentration in IT or digital communication and multimedia. These are concentrations, so students do not need any prerequisites to start these. They can come in without any job experience, any of this in order to qualify for the program. We have the also STEM programs, all of our College of Technology, Engineering, and then we also have the EdTech and Coding for Education, which are STEM programs. Moving forward, how do the courses work? Currently, we have the professional format and the on-campus format. In the professional format, students are typically going to be a little farther from campus, about 50 miles or more, that live from campus. And it will be an asynchronous schedule, which is meaning you will have one weekend where you come to the campus. During this, you'll have 3 full days of class time. And then you'll also have a weekly online class for 3 hours as well. This is available for our graduate level programs, master's and doctorate. In our Miami campus, students can take the BBA degree in the professional format as well. On campus, we have weekly class, 3 hours per week. And then we have the Irvine campus, which offers all of the programs I mentioned. We also have the LA campus, the Santa Monica, we call it, which is the MBA program only. Homework, we have discussion questions. So there is an initial post that's due on Thursdays, and then we have a peer response to that post that's due Sunday nights. Projects, papers, those are also included as another layer. You'll have papers, I would say 2 papers at least per course, and this is done in APA format. Don't worry if you don't know APA format. We have a robust list of resources. You can use the Academic Resource Center. We have the Writing Center that will help you with professional or with college level papers. Projects and papers may require group work, so we definitely emphasize participation, group work. Even we have special speakers that come on campus as well from time to time to give you as much exposure and interaction as you crave. So how to apply to Westcliff. We have the admissions requirements. We have our online application where I encourage all of you, if you're interested, to speak to Go Elite Counselor for application instructions. As far as the required documents, we look at diploma and transcripts for 2.5 or higher for graduate level. And then we do accept 3 years bachelor's degrees if that applies to you. And then English proficiency, you can see at the bottom right corner, we do accept TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo as our 3 most popular exams, but we do have a number of other options for exams that we can accept. Of course, we can also do a real pathway program. And for those students, if you know a friend maybe that's interested in starting Westcliff, we can do an intensive English program pathway. We don't require GMAT, GRE for acceptance into our master's or doctorate programs as well. So all that you see here is what we're looking for. We're not looking for, letters of intent. We're not looking, a statement of purpose. We're not looking for resume unless the particular, if you're looking to replace if you are, let's say, going into a technology degree, for instance, like a MSCS or an MS Engineering Management, when they ask for a resume, just to, if you do not have any background in engineering, otherwise you will just take the Tech 100 prerequisite course, okay? Of course, these are our general program requirements, and you're welcome to browse our website for additional, for any other information or program requirements. So looking at the tuition, I'm going to include the tuition up until the end of this summer. And we just recently received tuition for the fall. So here is up until the end of summer 2024. If you're planning to apply in the next couple months, this could be the tuition you're looking at. So we're looking at for the master's, $14,310 for international F1 students, and then for doctorate, it's $17,100. This is per year. The master's is a 2-year program, but can be completed in less than 2 years. And then the doctorate is typically 3 years on average. The deadline for active F1 students for our session 6 is May 20th. And just as a reminder, we do have 6 intakes, or as a highlight, if you weren't aware, we do have every other month is a new session, new intake. So going forward to session 1 of the next academic year, 2024-2025, we have our rates relatively the same. Around you're going to be around $14,700 per year. And as you can see, there's not much difference between an international and domestic student pricing. Also, students are eligible for a semester break after their first year of full-time study. And the program duration and living expenses will also be affected, so keep that in mind. For housing, we do have certain third-party housing resources. USH and Homestay Match are 2 homestay providers that we refer students to. We also work very closely with Residence Housing, along with other Irvine colleges and institutions that use this as well. So they do provide off-campus housing, and the housing cost will be typically between $800 to $1,200 per month. Tuition is collected semesterly. That's once every 4 months. However, we can also do a monthly payment option as well. Looking at the scholarships and grants we have available, on top of our already affordable tuition, we do have scholarships up to $10,000 per year. And you can find all that information on our scholarships and grants page. But it's typically 4 steps to apply. You'll first browse our list of scholarships on the scholarships grants page. Let me see if I can pull this up for everyone. Okay, great. So you're able to see that. So I would go first to financial aid, hover over, and then scroll to scholarships and grants, click on that, and then scroll down and click on the name, which will open up the scholarship criteria, any additional essay prompts you might need to submit. So we have scholarships from merit-based by program. We have scholarships by region of the world you come from. So this is to encourage more diversity in our student body. You can see any GPA requirements and maximum awards. These can be renewed each year as well. And if you apply to multiple scholarships, we will give you the maximum scholarship that you will be eligible for. So what it takes is looking through, finding, what we expect is for the scholarship, and then you would click on the application link, which will take you to a Google form. It has a reminder of what you need to submit, including an essay, including any documents, any awards that you've received. You will also be able to check off, you can check off all of the scholarships, and you will receive a decision. We do go through decisions 3 times a year, so it's important, I think, that students apply as early as possible if you'd like to get that decision before you start your program. So if you're thinking of applying in fall, you do have until July to send in those scholarships, but the earlier the better. So, all right, moving forward. I'm sure a lot of you are interested to know, we do offer curricular practical training to students, and this is approved by the university or a designated school official, and it happens during the program for 1 credit per semester additional. So this must be related to your degree, and there is that additional credit applies to the online internship course that you will take. We have a full-time or part-time CPT opportunity for students. Full-time is defined as more than 20 hours per week. Part-time is 20 hours per week or less. We definitely recommend, if you are thinking of doing OPT or post-completion OPT, what you call it, which is internship after you graduate, to stay within 11 months of full-time work, or there is no limitation with part-time. So you can do part-time your entire program, as long as you meet the renewal requirements and register for CPT on time. So how do you register for CPT? How do you apply for CPT? There are required documents. We have the Cooperative Educational Internship Agreement. This form is something that we would have the employer sign as well. And then we would have an offer letter from the employer and proof that you had paid tuition, including that 1 additional credit for the CPT. For undergrad students, they must have been enrolled for 1 academic year before they can begin CPT. For graduate students, you may begin CPT immediately upon program start date. For current student CPT allowance, in order to maintain your CPT, let's go to graduate, the GPA would be 3.0 or above for full-time and 2.5 or above for part-time. For expectations, we're expecting that because our classes are usually during the evenings, you will have plenty of time to pursue your internship during the day, so that you do not miss a single class while you are doing your CPT. So this is a 3-hour class, 1 time a week, typically, unless you're on vacation, right? But so attendance and classroom policies, the deadline to request a change in schedule is Monday of week 2 of the current semester, where students, as I mentioned, are expected and to attend class and not miss any work. And they're allowed to have 1 excused absence as well. both attendance and classroom participation are factors towards the final grade. Okay, internship required for all graduate students. So really, I think it's a benefit to coming to Westcliff because Westcliff gives you multiple avenues to find that practical experience outside the classroom. You can apply your knowledge in your relevant field of work. You can get direct training from a US-based employer, access networking, educational, career advancement opportunities. But I'm sure all of you know this. So internship course plus your employer internship gives you a well-rounded practical experience at Westcliff. So if you have more questions, you can stick around for the FAQ, or you can contact your admissions advisor if you were already submitted your application. So admissions, what does the timeline look like for active F1 students? We do have the application itself. Students will send that in through the instructions of the GO Lead counselor, and then you will be assigned an admissions advisor who will reach out to say hi. You should also receive a email notification that just gives you access to your online portal where you can go in, look at what has been submitted, look at, and you can also submit missing documents there too. Next, we get to admission. So once we receive all the required documents and we've gone through the evaluation and acceptance, you should be notified saying that there is an update on your portal. Once you log in, you can find your acceptance letter to view on the portal, and you may also download that. At this time, you can also attend an advising session as part of your requirements. You would need to meet with one of the lovely advisors on our team, and we would talk to you about your program and give you some good information there. I-20 documents. So typically, we do have a request form, and then when it's time, you will be able to upload your bank statements and make sure they are current within the last 90 days. The sponsor documents and dependent documents will be requested as well. And then in a short amount of time, you will receive the digital I-20. For the SEVIS transfer, please refer to your previous institution's transfer out process. The deadline to transfer your SEVIS records is about 1 week prior to your start date. Okay. If you're currently in a OPT position, right? You'd like to transfer I believe that we try to. There's no need to transfer early to Westcliff, so we try to time it so it's as close to the start date as possible. Enrollment wise, we will provide the enrollment agreement, registration forms, tuition deposit of $1,000, and then we will also provide you information on how to register for CPT so that you can start your CPT from the start of your program. And then we will connect you with your student service advisor and give you the information for your class schedule and academic counseling. Registration, we will have NSO, new student orientation, and it's typically 2 weeks prior to the start date as well. So just to wrap up, I promise not to be too windy, to kind of explain too much, but I wanted to make sure you had the information before we started the FAQ. Why choose Westcliff? There are a number of reasons. Top reasons are affordable tuition with payment plans and scholarships available. In addition, we have an attractive location on the east and west coast of the US with multiple campuses options. Irvine is the #1 safest city in America for its size and the #1 best place to live according to time.com. We are also with the tech hub of Orange County in Irvine, and we're located in what's called the Irvine Business Complex, where there's many Fortune 1000 companies also in the area. Work opportunities include CPT, during your program, throughout your program, and OPT after graduation to 36 months. Finally, flexibility with 6 start dates per year, accelerated options on campus or professional format, and no GRE, GMAT, or SAT.
All right, thank you so much for your presentation, John. We learned a lot about Westcliff, about the program, and also in general about, using CPT and also navigating through your CVIS transfer steps. And I think we're just going to jump right into the questions, Q&A sessions, because we do have lots of questions. Let's go to the first one. So, do we need job offer in order to enroll and continue the program?
So if we're talking about the program itself, you will not. So if you're talking about the academic program, you do not need a job offer to enroll in the program. This is separate. You can do CPT for even as little as 1 semester. You do not need to do CPT throughout your entire program. So that is not dependent on whether you get enrolled into the program or not.
Doris, do you have anything else to add?
John is right. CPT is only optional, it's not required. So yeah, as F1 students, academic, the program is the most important thing. So job is not required.
Okay. Next question, can I travel abroad during my course at Westcliff and without any, any restrictions and stuff like that?
Student has to submit a request for the international travel, and also just as we mentioned, student has to complete 18 semester credits to be qualified for the annual leave. If they want to do international travel during that annual leave, they have to complete 18 semester credits to do so.
Okay. So if I'm understanding that correctly, students can travel internationally as long as they're approved for their travel signature. And also students are eligible to take that 1 semester break if they qualified for that.
Yes.
All right, the next question. If I utilize the CPT during my course, do I still get the 3-year stand OPT to work after graduation? This will be a very classic question.
Yeah, that is a great question. So it depends on whether you have completed your OPT for the same degree level already. So if this is going to be your second master or third master and you've utilized your OPT after your first master program, then a student can do the CPT, the full-time CPT as long as they want. But if this is going to be their first master's program and they want to utilize OPT after this master, then we don't suggest students to do more than 12 months of full-time CPT.
Sounds good. Next question. I have a master's degree in accounting and is thinking about pursuing DBA. Would you say that aligns with my background? Do you have any concentrations with accounting?
For that, I just met with a student. One of the students, she has worked as an accountant and then pursuing a DBA. Unfortunately, we don't have a accounting concentration for the DBA program, but I'll say it really depends on the career you want to go with, and it should be aligned with the DBA, because DBA is really broad. We have so many concentrations under it. So if you do want to move forward and move to a upper management level on the same in the same company, then I would say yeah, it should be aligned with the background.
Thank you so much. Next question would be more on the immigration side. So will CPT from day one affect my green card processes? I think from this question, we wouldn't provide any legal advice from today's webinars. So this is only for education processes. But we do, from our agency's perspective, we do come across students who is going for their green card application. So I would just say this. If you are going for the university under the highest accreditation levels, you are finishing all your homework, you are going to on-site classes, fulfilling your F1 student duty at all times, the chances that you get RFE from your green card is actually minimum. And even if you get RFEs, Westcliff is among the schools that offers RFE programs, so basically assist you with documentations, I assume. So I'm sure that you don't have to worry too much about that. And we can kind of move on that question. So from my previous masters, I have 3.96 GPA, and I wanted to know how can I get scholarship while submitting application to Go Elite, and it was mentioned that I'll be considered automatically. One thing to address that, even though if you're referred by Go Elite, you still have to go through the application, processes, scholarship as well as anybody else. But I think one thing that our consultant will be able to assist you is to help you assess and help you review all the documentations as well as your written documents to apply for scholarships. And also, we will connect you with school advisors more closely to let them take a look at your applications to see if it aligns with what they're looking for. But do you have anything else from Westcliff's perspective that you wanted to add in terms of people wanting to get scholarships? Like how would the process be, or how would they qualify for the scholarships?
Yeah, I think I've answered that question on the chat. So just go to our Westcliff website and search scholarships and grants, and then you will have all the resources and the details regarding the academic scholarships. And you do need to submit a separate scholarship application, and then along with the required documents to be qualified for that. And then make sure to submit your application before the deadline. And there's also a calendar included on the website. So feel free to check on that.
Thank you so much for information, Doris. Moving on to the next question. What programs does the Orlando, Florida campus offer? Does the accreditation actually apply to all campuses?
Yes. So for now, Orlando only offers DBA and MBA program, and it is all for professional formats only. And also the accreditation apply to all the campuses we have.
Sounds good. Next question. Does the school provide health insurance for students?
We do have some resource can be sent to the students, and if students are needed, then we will provide the links and the information to the students. And also, it's included on the students' handbook. So if they go to our website and then check on the handbook, they will see the resource link in that handbook. But during the advisory session, if students need those resources, we can send out to their email as well.
Sounds good. And next question, do we know right now or ahead of time which 3 days we'll be attending in person?
I will say it's our registrar to create the schedules for the students, so we don't know for sure. Like for this session, you will have your on-site class schedule or the online class schedule. But it's normally the third or the fourth week of that session. For the professional format session, if you're going to attend your courses in person, it's always the third or the fourth week of that session.
Thank you so much. Next question. So currently I live within 50 miles of radius, but if I move out of that range, can I switch to professional format?
For that, I think it's possible, but Rochelle, could you step in?
Yes, of course. I did answer this one in the chat. If you currently live within 50 miles, then you would be in our regular weekly format. But if you do provide your updated proof of address that you have moved and it's over 50 miles from campus, that proof of address would qualify you for the professional format. You would just request a format change.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next one. I have already completed my MBA. So if I go for executive MS, would I get the CPT, or if not, then which program can I go for? I think I can kind of talk about this. Executive MS or the professional formats, Westcliff does offer a variety of programs that offer CPT options. But I wouldn't, like, from our perspective, I wouldn't recommend you to do another MBA because you already did an MBA, so that would be a little bit overlaps between the courses that you studied. But yes, if you entered any professional programs, you are eligible for CPT. And that will include, I think, as John mentioned, that for Westcliff, that will include the Masters in Information Technology, Engineering Management, and any other programs that offers the professional formats as well. All right, moving on. I am an F1 student in a language school. Can I transfer to MBA at Westcliff?
Yeah, it is possible, but the students has to complete a certain level of that ESL course. So if you're interested, just contact the student, just contact the admissions advisor, and we will be able to see that whether you are ready for the MBA program. If not, then we also have the Real Pathway Communication program offered here if your English proficiency is not qualified. So yeah, it's possible.
Sounds good. Moving on, can you get a job in the middle of the semester and then get CPT?
Oh, I also answered that in the chat already. So but you can only apply for CPT before the drop deadline for the deadline for that session. If it's past the deadline, then you cannot apply for CPT. You will have to wait until the next session because for CPT you will have to take a online class. So that's why it has to be submitted before the drop deadline.
Absolutely. Thank you for addressing that for everybody. And then moving on to the next one. So if my company does not sign a cooperative agreement, then what would be the alternative?
We have another alternative documents can be provided to the student for the employer to sign. It's a COL. Just if we are aware that companies like Google or Amazon, they want to sign on another version. So if they need it, then we will send out the alternative document to the student for their employer to sign.
That's good. Moving on. Can I change my concentration later in the first semester?
Yes. So you will not start your concentration courses from the first session or first semester. So yeah, if you want to change your concentration, make sure to submit your request. And then after get approval, then you can change your concentration.
So if I'm understanding correctly, for the MBA program, students will start their concentration courses on their second year, right?
Yeah, around the second year.
Sounds good. Moving on, does the MBA program with different concentrations means that you will have different classes?
Yes. All of the MBA students has to take the core courses, but with the different concentrations, you will focus on different courses for that concentration. So yeah.
So in that perspective, students will study some of the fundamental classes on the
Yes.
MBA major, and then if they choose a particular concentration, they will then pursuing some of the concentration classes moving on forward.
That's right.
Okay, next question, I think I can also answer this. So this person is asking, is TOEFL needed? I think John talked about this in the presentation. If you missed the presentation part, we will also send out the recordings of today's session. So I highly encourage you to rewatch the session if you missed the previous session. And then for TOEFL is not required if you had a US degree. For example, if you had a bachelor's degree in the US or a master's degree in the US, the language tests are waived. But if you are, for example, you never had a US degree, or if you are applying for another country or from another visa status, for example, like an H4 status, then language test is required. You can either go for TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. I think Westcliff does accept all of this language tests, right?
Yes, that's right.
Sounds good. Moving on, are the admissions requirements same for both campuses and professional classes?
If I understand that correctly, professional format also require in-person classes. So it is the same for all of the students. It's just that admissions requirements are different for incoming F1 students and active F1 students. So I'm not sure if I answered that question.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And moving on for the next one. So for full-time CPT, is that allowed to work more than 40 hours every week?
Full-time CPT is students who are working 20 hours or more than 20 hours a week are considered full-time CPT. So I would say more than 40 hours a week. It depends on the employer. So, but it's 20 hours a week is the benchmark for considered a full-time CPT.
Absolutely. And I will add one thing is just that because you're pursuing F1 status as well, you are considered as a full-time student, meaning that your priorities will always also be focusing on studies, finishing classes, go to on-site classes, homeworks and everything like that. So we don't recommend you to start a job with more than 40 hours per week of requirements. But more than 40 hours is also considered as full-time. So if this DSO is approved, you can do that as well. Next one is English proficiency required. I think I talked about this in a previous question. So it's not required if you had a US master degree or a grad degree. And then next one, do we need to have yes, so this is a very similar questions. If you don't have a previous education within the US, chances are you will probably need the English proficiency test. Doris, do you have any add-on to that?
Yeah, sure. So for students who don't have so if they have completed more than 30 semester credits in the US and they don't get a degree, but we can waive that English proficiency for the students as well.
For example, if like somebody is coming from another English speaking country, like from Canada or something like that, would they be waived of the test as well?
Yes, we do have students coming from the MOI exempt countries like Kenya or Canada or UK. Yeah, definitely the student don't have to provide any proof of English proficiency.
That's good. Thank you for that. Next question. My F1 visa expires in mid-May. Am I still okay to enroll? I think I can speak a little bit on the F1 visa. That is not, equivalent to an I-20 active student status. So as long as you have an active I-20 and you have maintained your student status, you are eligible to transfer to Westcliff and to enroll into the program. That F1 visa that actually does not offer, is not relevant in this case. Next question, is session 6 in July 1st? Just a quick confirmation on the date, July 1st, 2024.
Yes, that's right.
Right, that is confirmed. Next one, the number on the table is per year or per semester. I assume that will be the tuition. And if you go back to the CAS presentations to watch the recordings, that would be the annual tuitions on the table. But also I wanted to address that Westcliff, as Doris mentioned, Westcliff offers optional semester break after you completed 3 semesters of studies, so that you can also calculate that, because you wouldn't pay tuitions for any classes under the semester break. You only have to pay the CPT classes, so that you can also consider that into the whole tuition structures as well. And moving on, if I plan to start in summer 2, but my current F1 status expires on June 20th, I believe summer 2 starts on July 1st, right? So can I still transfer my SEVIS record by June 21 and get my CPT started on that date? Or could I only be able to start CPT on July 1st?
So again, the F1 visa does not matter. And what is mattered is your SEVIS record. So as long as your SEVIS record is active, then you can transfer SEVIS record after your OPT or whenever you wanna start your SEVIS record, a transfer process. So CPT can, the earliest day you can get your CPT approval is the session start day. So for the July intake will be the July 1st. It's the earliest day you can get your CPT.
Sounds good. Moving on. So what documentations is needed for CPT? My employer do not want to provide any documents that requires forms of signature of supervisor or HR. What are the alternatives?
Yeah. Again, we will, I know big tech companies like Amazon or Google, we will provide these CLO and alternative form for them to sign on it.
And also, I think we also touched a little bit on presentations that students will also be needed a offer letter from the employer as one of the documents as well, right?
Yes, also, and then don't forget to pay for the CPT course fee. That's a course you need to take for that session or for that semester.
Thank you for your reminder. And do we offer a data analytics program? If I take the MBA, how many classes would have the concentration requirements, or maybe how many classes are under the concentration itself?
Yeah, I think we offer a data analytics concentration or data-driven marketing decision for the MBA, and then the STEM concentration as well. For classes concentration, so for all of the students to graduate with an MBA for a master's degree, they have to complete 36 credits, including the core courses and the concentration courses.
Sounds good. Next question, does the tuition include 3 semesters or just fall and spring semesters?
That tuition includes we have 3 semesters a year. They include fall, spring, and summer. So that annual tuition it covered 3 semesters.
Okay, but it's also just to clarify, it's also paid on a semester basis.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Next one, can we continue CPT for 2 years continuously? So basically, is there any gap between my CPT approval?
I think there will be a short gap, because during the public holidays in the school sessions hasn't started yet, and then you don't need to work, so there will be a short gap between sessions. But I know that we for the continuously, if students taking CPT depends on the full-time or part-time CPT they want to go. So if they exceed 12 months of full-time CPT, and that will impact their eligibility for the OPT after completing the degree, if this is the first master they are going to do. So just keep in mind.
To add a little bit on that point, for the students that we deal with who are in Westcliff, the gap some of these students encounter would be to transitioning from their OPT to CPT. That will usually be a couple of days for the new school to process the CPT I-20. But after that, for example, if you're moving from semester 1 to semester 2, even though you're renewing your CPT, you don't have to worry about ending your current work to get another CPT approval. That will be approved continuously. I think Westcliff should be able to provide you with a continuously CPT approval for you to work throughout the whole year, right? That is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Next question. Can I use existing job offer for CPT? And what is the timeline for CPT approval?
Yeah, sure. We have so many students who are going to work on with the same employer. So the typical timeline is what we suggest is students better submit their CPT requirements and the request 2 weeks before the session start date. And then we will do a pre-review on that. We will wait until your SEVIS record to be in to really process your CPT. So I don't have a estimated processing time for CPT. It really depends on how well you prepared for your CPT request and the required documents.
Sounds good. Next question, what is the deadline for July intake?
Is the student asking about the application deadline? So if
I
they
assume-
are, if they're asking, the application deadline will be May 20th for the July intake for active F1 students. And if it's for incoming students and the deadline has passed.
Sounds good. Next question, this person, get admitted for summer 5 session, but haven't received the I-20, so wanted to follow up on the timeline of when can he or she expect the I-20. And also another question would be currently working with my current university to transfer out, they require a transfer letter and an acceptance letter from Westcliff. So who can I reach out to for these documentations?
So already been admitted, then the student should know who is your admissions advisor. I'll suggest student to contact the admissions advisor directly. Just want to make sure the student said completed most of our steps. Does that mean the registration requirements? Because registration process and I-20 process are different processes. So to get your I-20, you need to submit the I-20 request. As active F1 students, you need to upload your updated bank statement and also notify your previous university to transfer your SEVIS record. So I'll suggest the student to contact the admissions advisor directly.
Absolutely. Next question. So how does the semester break work for students on F1? Is that allowed, and can we still just enroll in CPT during the break without enrolling in classes?
So I assume the student is asking about the annual leave. So when they are doing the annual leave, can they do CPT? Yes, as long as they enrolled with the CPT online class, then they can do CPT during that break.
All right, and that would be full-time CPT without taking any other classes, right?
Yes, but they all have to take the CPT online class.
All right, yeah. Noted. Next question. So when will be a good time for international students to apply for doctoral for fall 2024? I assume that this person wanted to ask about the deadline for fall 2024.
Yes, so if you're ready, I'll suggest you to submit your application now, because I don't know if you're incoming F1 students or F1 students already in the US. And if you need a new F1 visa, now is a good time to submit your application. But if you're active F1 students, I think you still have enough time to process to submit your application. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I encourage this person to scan the code or talk to a consultant that you might be working with already. We can provide the application link, and you don't have to pay for application fee. Is waived through GoElee's end. So send in your application as soon as possible so that Westcliff can get that reviewed and also get back to you. So next question, this person actually have 3 questions. We're gonna quickly go through it. So, how long in general would the admissions decision be? So I applied for the July 1st intake. Maybe we can answer the first one first.
Yeah, sure. It depends on whether you are incoming F1 or active F1. If you already applied for the July 1st intake, you should already receive an automated email from our system introducing your designated advisors. If you do have further questions, you can just reply that email and get connected with your admissions advisor. So if you have completed a degree in the US and it's provided, uploaded all the required documents, and it won't take us too long to process the transcript evaluation. And then you will hear from us really soon.
Next one, this person wanted to ask, is there a 24-25 catalog and student handbook? I wanted to look at the MSIT classes and electives.
Yeah, sure. So go to our Westcliff University's website and then search for MSIT and scroll down to the very bottom, and you will able to see the student handbook and catalog.
Thank you for that. And the last one would be the day 1 CPT policy. I assume this person wanted to talk about like the CPT renewal time is every 4 months. Is that correct?
CPT has to be renewed every semester.
All right. Thank you for your information. Moving on to the next question. I'm currently on F1 student OPT, which is expiring in June 15th. And this session is starting on July 1st. Does that mean that I'm out of status for that 15 days?
Nope. You will remain your legal status. It's just that after your OPT ends, please transfer your CEVIS record after that day, and then we will be able to issue you the transfer pending I-20, so you are not considered out of status. So don't worry.
The next question, the other person wanted to know about the CEVIS transfer process. So can I still continue working during the CEVIS transfer, and how long would the CEVIS transfer be in general?
So when you do initiate the CEVIS transfer process, that means that your OPT ends automatically. So once you have the date, on that date, your CEVIS record is transferred to Westcliff, then you cannot work for your employer anymore on OPT.
Thank you for that. Next one, are the MBA programs available on LA campus?
LA campus only offer weekly format for now for the MBA program. So if you want to do professional, choose Irvine or Miami.
Sounds good. Next one, can we apply for scholarship more than one time?
Yeah, so I assume the students are talking about the academic scholarships. Yes, if you're interested, and then you can apply for, because the scholarship is given for that semester. So yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. Next one, for the part-time programs, for like MS in computer science, do students can join the campus recruitment? And if it works, change careers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I follow these questions. But just to clarify, if Westcliff has a part-time program, because I know that MSCS might be a full-time program, right?
Yeah, as F1 students, they have to be a full-time student. So we don't have part-time program.
So, but if your question would be on part-time job or part-time CPT, yes, you absolutely can do a part-time CPT when you're doing the Masters of Computer Science. And next question. So, I think this is also answered previously, so we're gonna jump on. So, considering my OPT expires July 4th, I get admitted for MSIT in summer 6. How should I request my I-20, and when should I do the CVIS transfer?
There are two different things you need to do. So first, you need to submit your I-20 request to Westcliff and upload your bank statement, and then notify your previous university, and then transfer your CVIS record. So two different things you need to do. If you want to end your OPT early, I think that will give us enough time to process the I-20 and also process your CPT request as well.
Absolutely. Next one, is there a renewal fee for my CPT?
Renewal fee. I think there's no renewal fee, but there is a CPT online course fee you need to pay every semester.
So CPT is a part of the classes. The student does need to register unit for that.
That's right.
And next one, regarding CPT, if I want to work as a product manager, is it related to a DBA program?
Yeah, I don't see there's nothing related. Because I know that the management level and is students are coming from all kinds of background, and it's related to the DBA program if you want to move up to a higher level management level job.
And DBA would also be a great fit for you if you previously had multiple master's degrees, just for considerations.
That's
And
right.
if you work full-time 11 months on the CPT, can I still apply for OPT after?
It really depends. Have you utilized your OPT for the same degree level before? So if you haven't, yeah, just keep your full-time CPT within like 12 months. I'll say 11 months is a safe choice. Yeah, and after that, you can still apply for the OPT.
Yeah, one thing to note is that you do have the restrictions on full-time CPT, but you don't have the restrictions on part-time. So if you wanted to continue your CPT during part-time, you can actually do, extend it throughout the whole program while still getting your OPT.
Yes, that's right.
So next question, I'm an OPT for my pharmacy degree. Would I still be eligible for OPT after MBA with healthcare concentration? So I think we talked about this multiple times. If you had a master's OPT used already, you won't be able to get another master level OPT again. So next one, can you explain the difference between the different DBA program options? For example, like the concentrations. And also this person wanted to ask about regular DBA and the DBA certificate.
Yeah, we recently officially launched a stackable DBA certificate, so there's no extra fees. You don't need more time to take more courses. It's just that the order you're taking your DBA courses will be different. If you are interested in that stackable DBA certificates, just let your admissions advisor know, and then we will add a note for you. And then after completing 1 year of your DBA courses, you can get a certificate. After completing the second year of your DBA courses, you can get another certificate. And then if you completed all of your courses and finish your dissertation, you can get your doctorate degree.
Sounds good. And I think we are about our end time. So I do want to wrap up here with our final questions. So we talked about this previously, but I do want to address that for summer session 6, the earliest CPT start date will be your class start date, which is July 1st.
That's right.
As Doris and Rochelle mentioned earlier. And then I want to thank everybody for coming in today's sessions, all of our attendees, as well as our team from Westcliff. So unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to answer all of the questions, but we're happy to help with all of your concerns. So please send the code or talk to one of the consultants you already be working with. If you submitted an application to Westcliff, you can also talk to your admissions advisor. They will be able to assist you with all of the questions. And we will also post the recordings on YouTube and send it over your emails for you to review today's webinars in case you miss anything. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. Thank you, John, Rochelle, and Doris, for your wonderful speaking and presentations of today's event. And hopefully we will do this in a very near future. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for coming in and have a great night. Thank you. Bye, John. Bye, Rochelle. Bye-bye, Doris.